So we're officially at the halfway point for the spring 2018 season of anime. While this is the best anime season in recent memory, we figured that we can give you an update on how we feel about the shows we're currently watching or have dropped. Not all the shows we watched this season were winners, friends. Oh boy. But for the sake of keeping it as a seasonal review, we're going to avoid giving our opinions on shows like My Hero Academia or Food Wars, as they are part of a much larger story and that doesn't really fit into the seasonal anime brand in the same way as something like Golden Kamuy or Magical Girl Ore does. With that being said, let's get into it.
Starting off with one of the most anticipated shows for the season, Golden Kamuy. Now, let's get the gigantic CGI bear out of the room. Yes, the CGI in this show is bad, and it's some of the worst that I've ever seen. But after I got over it in the first episode, I kept looking deeper into the show. I found myself enjoying the setting and intimate character relationship that Asuka and Sugimoto have. I found myself learning new things about a period of Japanese history that is rarely talked about and that I didn't know much about. My only concern for the show is how are they going to tie this up in the next 6 episodes, seeing as it does not have a guaranteed second season.
One of the hottest trends in anime right now is deconstruction to the point of a show becoming completely self-aware. We saw this in the fall of 2017 with Anime Guitarist and in the winter of 2018 with Pop Team Epic. This season's fourth wall-breaking masterpiece comes to us in the form of Magical Girl Ore. As a kid, I loved watching shows like Sailor Moon, Tokyo Mew Mew, and Cardcaptor Sakura. Magical Girl Ore takes all of the magical girl tropes that we grew up with, flips them upside down, turns them inside out, and then hands them a shot of whiskey and says, "Drink up, bitch." I've heard some complaints that this show can get a little bit too wild and off topic, but honestly, I think that's what makes it so much fun to watch. The uber violent fight scenes, the rival idol group, and the fact that the brother always talks in subtitles. Like, who thinks of that? Magical Girl shows are already over the top as it is, and I really appreciate Magical Girl Ore's dedication to always taking the drama and action one step further than it needs to be.
When Steins Gate Zero was announced for the season, I was overjoyed. The original is one of my favorites of all time, and then suddenly, I remembered. But in all seriousness, the show is amazing. It somehow manages to be even darker than the original series and gives us more incredible dialogue, character interaction, and a really depressed Okabe. However, I can't recommend this show to people who haven't seen the show, obviously, because too much of it is tied to the events of the original series. But what I can do is recommend that you immediately go watch Steins Gate and then get right on this now because you deserve to treat yourself.
Another highly anticipated show that I'm really happy with is Uma Musume Pretty Derby. If I'm being completely honest with you all, I was never into horses as a kid. I know, right? The Sugoi Sensei, the nerdiest teacher, queen of all the future nerds, was never a horse girl. Nor was I ever interested in idol shows. But all that changed when Best Girl, yes, fight me, Special Week came into my life, and I suddenly started giving a shit about horses and racing and idol songs and idol costumes and, well, you get the picture. Pretty Derby takes all of the best parts of those and crams them into 23 minutes of weekly tooth-rotting goodness. One of my only qualms about the show is there are so many girls that I have kind of a hard time keeping track of them all. Even with names like Vodka, Air Groove, and my personal favorite, Grass Wonder, I still get a lot of them really confused. But even so, this show is an absolute joy to watch, and I look forward to seeing my best girl Spei-chan become the horse girl Hokage.
Now, before we get into our final shows, let's take a quick break and take a look at all of the shows that I dropped this season. Comic Girls, one of the most generic and uninspired moe shows in recent memory. And don't get me wrong, I enjoy moe shows. Yuru Camp was one of my favorite shows of last season. But the problem with this show is that I can't help but feel like I've seen the show before, or perhaps have seen it at least 20 different times. Persona 5 the animation. The reason why I dropped the show isn't because it's bad, but because it's mediocre. The animation is inconsistent, the direction is uninspired, and it just flat out fails to capture the spirit of what playing a Persona game is like. I care about spending time with everyone. The inherent problem with how Persona animations work is that they try to compress 130 hours of gameplay into a 24-episode experience. Legends of the Galactic Heroes. Now, let me be clear on this. I was really enjoying this series, but I have not seen the original before. I enjoyed the reboot so much that I stopped watching the show mid-episode, not because it was bad, but because it made me want to get the full version of the story.
It goes without saying that my favorite show of the season is My Hero Academia because...
Hey, we talked about this. Not in this video.
I'm shonen trash. But honestly, who wants to hear me talk about My Hero Academia for like the millionth time? Instead, I'm gonna mention a show that really got my attention and punched me right in the heart. A show that even my friends who don't watch anime thoroughly enjoyed, and they're still referencing scenes from it in our daily conversations. Aggretsuko is one of those shows that looks like it's going to be a whole bunch of furry bait fluff, but it ended up being so much more than that. As a young adult, just starting to live on my own, Aggretsuko was very relatable. I have coworkers who definitely take advantage of me and make me want to scream into the abyss. I desperately try to keep my personal life separate from my work life, and most importantly, I have friends who always have my back and would do anything for me. This is going to sound like some millennial bullshit, but Aggretsuko as a whole is really such a mood. There were so many times as I was watching the show, I would just literally blurt out, "Me. That's me. Wow. She's me. Wow, is the show about me? I think the show is about me." The entire show is available on Netflix. Take the time to watch my beautiful red panda goddess Aggretsuko just scream about everything. It's amazing. Go watch the show. Take the time. It's all there. You can do it. Just watch it. Just do it. Just watch the show.
And then we have my absolute favorite show of this season, Megalobox. Few shows captivate me in its storytelling and visuals right off the bat like this show does. It has a way of making you interested in everything going on in the very first episode. It amazes you with how it looks due to deliberate downscaling to give it an older feeling to the show. The soundtrack is one of the most incredible soundtracks to a show since Samurai Champloo and Cowboy Bebop. The fights are choreographed in a way that you can feel every single punch that is thrown and landed. I care about the characters. I care about the stakes. There are so many things in the show that it does right that I can't go into it now, but expect a full review on it in a near future. If you haven't picked up the show yet, do yourself a favor, start watching it now. Depending on how it goes, it very well might be a contender for Anime of the Year. Hi everyone, thank you so much for watching this video. We really appreciate the support. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Let us know what your least favorite show of the season is. Let us know what your favorite show of the season is. We want to get the conversation going. We want to talk to you guys. Sugoi Sensei and I will be at Anime next week, so there won't be a video, but there will be a video the week after that one, so be prepared for that one on the way. Thank you so much for watching. We really appreciate it, and we'll see you next time. Bye.